Cause me uniform worn and tattered, and none inside the storeroom. I don't think he's Adventist, but like he's leaning towards Catholic, to put all them none in the storeroom instead of the usual pick. Monday, the quartermaster will say to you, when you ask for a working pants, shirt or cap or buttons too. None there, none on the shelf at this present time. When you ask for a working boots, none you hear and none you find. None was never so plenty, none causing discontent. It's like the police that brass repent and turn the storeroom into a convent. I wonder who placed the order for police to get supplies. Cause the present status, my brother, I just can't rationalize. How come they don't have the items quartermasters does always buy? When we use the same regulations from back in colonial times. None there, the quartermaster will say to you, when you ask for a working pant, shirt or cap or buttons too. None there, none on the shelf at this present time. When you want a working boot, none you hear and none you find. None was never so plenty, none causing discontent. Like the police that brass repent and turn the storeroom into a convent. Tailor called for material. I hear that they gave him none, and none filled the shelves and spaces you used to find supplies on. None take the space of the cap wipes, pocketbook, handcuff and button. No matter which way you turn it, like none on a non-stop run. None there, the quartermaster will say to you, when you ask for a working pant, shirt or cap or buttons too. None there, none on the shelf at this present time. When you ask for a working boots, none you hear and none you find. None was never so plenty, none causing discontent. Like the police that brass repent and turn the storeroom into a convent. Thing is now overbearing. A child nearly made me cry when she looked at my colleague's new shirt and said that's a public works guy. The shirt does look kinda different to the usual police work gear, and that shade of gray, the child tell me, is what the plumbers does wear. Monday, The quartermaster will say to you, when you ask for a working pants, shirt or cap or buttons too, none there, none on the shelf at this present time. When you ask for a working boots, none you hear and none you find. None was never so plenty, none causing discontent. It's like the police, the brass repent and turn this storeroom into a convent.
Studios located in the capital city of St. John's, Antigua in the Caribbean Sea.
Okay, stop there.
And our transmitter located at the highest point, Buddy Peak in the parish of St. Mary. This is ZDK Liberty Radio International, 97.1 FM, the People's Radio Station.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, I told you, you have to stand for something. Sometime at a time, imagine, hey, it might be a lot of vibes and things and so, but you stand up, man. You have to stand up as a man, you know. Any man that can't stand up for what they believe in, then the word, the style, and then walk over just.
Say that again.
Yeah, I told you.
Say that again.
Any man that can't stand up for what they believe in, you hear? I'm saying the word, the style, and then walk over.
Tell them no, I'm nobody's Negro. I only promoting truth that they cannot refute. I tell them no, definitely no, I'm nobody's Negro. Righteousness is my best friend, ethics and morals I defend them. I tell them no, no damn reward could turn me so. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Nobody's Negro, no, no, no. Oh my, oh Lord. But I'm a riggy diggy tabby diggy ding diggy diggy diggy. Oh Lord, oh no. Biddy biddy dabba dabba dabba, biddy biddy dabba dabba dabba,
I've seen some valleys, I've walked through some darkness, waded through rivers of grief. Oh, the enemy told me that I was forsaken, no one was fighting for me. But I didn't make it this far on my own, though often my strength is all gone. The hands of the Savior keep holding me up. His promise of help is my song. I've seen some valleys.
Let me say good night, Antigua Barbuda.
Waded through.
Good night to our Caribbean neighbors.
Grief.
All locked into ZDK Radio.
Oh, the enemy
97.1 FM.
that I was forsaken, no one.
Let me say good night to St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla. Hey, good night, Montserrat.
But I
Hey, how you doing, Madeline?
taken this far on
Hey, good night also going out to Dominica, St. Lucia,
my strength.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados,
Hands of the
Grenada,
Savior
Guyana.
holding me.
Let me say good night to Trinidad and Tobago.
Of help is my song.
Hey, to those who have joined us via the World Wide Web,
If God
might have joined us on www.radiozdk.com.
who can stand against me?
Or you might have joined us via Facebook Live.
shall prosper.
Hey, at ZDK Liberty Radio 97.1.
On my side,
Hey, good night to you.
if it's just
Hey, remember, if we develop any problems on the Facebook Live, hey, just tune into the app. I'm told that's working perfectly.
when my God is,
Scripture to cover tonight's program.
I got the victory.
Taken from the book of Mark chapter 13 and verse 22. And it reads, For false Christs and false prophets shall rise, and shall shew signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Hey, that means some liars out there, boy. And the lie so clean.
Never make it.
Sometimes you know better until believe the lie, or tempted to believe the lie. What the thing? Hey, the word of God again. For false Christ and false prophets shall rise,
Just remember.
and shall shew signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Yeah, the word of God. Coming to us from the book of Mark chapter 13 and verse 22.
I've seen
Let me say a special good night to Miss Patricia Gums.
some darkness
Hey, good night to my little sister.
through
Hey, Nicole and her family over there in the Mount Pleasant area.
all the inner.
My other sisters. Hey, Bridget.
I was
Hey, good night, Nola.
no one was
Hey,
fighting,
to my many nieces. What's up, John? Bernadette.
but I did
What's going down?
this far.
Hey, to my many nephews. What's up, Zian?
Turn my strength
Hey, good night, Austin.
all gone.
Hope and trust that all is good.
The hands of the Savior
Also,
holding me.
hey, good night going out to my cousin Annette, over in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
I saw
Hey, how are you doing, Annette? Hey, hope and trust that all is going good.
if God is for
Hey, good night also to Halima Thomas. She's in Orlando, Florida. Hey, what's up, Halima? Hey, to my second mom over there stateside. Hey, that's Sister Jean Golston. Hey, good night, Sister Jean.
when God's on my side.
Hey, good night, Jomo. Say good night and hello for me, please.
It's just
Right back here in Antigua,
Jesus.
over in the Nut Grove area. Hey, let me just say good night to Miss Loretta Hunt. Hey, what's up, Loretta? Hope and trust that all is going good.
My God is with me.
Hey, and down yonder. Hey, how you doing, Cassie? Hey, hope and trust that all is going good. Hey, love you, love you. Special good night to my stepmother. That's Miss Christophine Lewis over there in the east part of the area, Berlin.
Places
Hey, how you doing, Miss Lewis?
you can't go.
Hey, hope and trust that all is going good.
And people tell
Let me just travel down to the Cooksville area
make it.
and say good night to Mrs. Winifred Christopher and her family. Hey, what's up, bro? I hope and trust that all is going good and everyone is doing good.
To trust or to doubt. Just remember
Bamsey!
what he's always done. Yeah, he's never failed me, and he never will. And the
You're listening
is already
to ZDK Liberty Radio 97.1.
if God is for me, who can stand against me? No weapon shall prosper when God's on my side. If it's just me and Jesus, I can't be defeated. When my God is with me, I got the victory every time.
Stay tuned. We will be right back.
I know he From a little cottage in number 3 Casada Gardens hails Rags to Rugs. 100% handmade Antiguan interwoven rag rugs by J. Lissa Lewis. We have various sizes of floor rugs, decorative wall hanging rugs, and table mats, uniquely and sustainably handmade. To purchase, send us a message via WhatsApp at 268-770-8088 for directions to our physical location, or we can deliver to you anywhere on Antigua absolutely free. Like and follow us on Facebook at Rags to Rugs Antiguan Made, on Instagram Rags to Rugs, or you can email us at ragstorugs@gmail.com. Don't forget, our rag rugs and table mats are machine washable and dryable. See you soon.
Elaine and Dad's Joseph Consultancy. We consult on labor relation matters, insurance, business matters, and politics. P.O. Box 2287, Francis Lane, Yorks Village, St. John's, Antigua Barbuda. Our email address, it's elaineanddadsjoseph@gmail.com. Telephone numbers 776-0200 or 464-4201. Contact us. We are here for you.
Hey, what a way to start. Hey! Boy! Yeah, welcome back to Real Talk. Hey, right there in ZDK Liberty Radio 97.1. Time in studio. 15 minutes after the 8 p.m. hour. Dave Beef Joseph here in the company.
What I'm feeling when I hold you, it feels like heaven surrounds me. Every time you wrap your arms around me, and there's nothing I can say you'll ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you. When you're with me, when you kiss me, when you tell me how much you miss me, every moment we're together brings us closer, closer to forever. And there's nothing I can say or ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you.
Yes, how was your day today? I hope and just you had a good day. I did. I'm feeling good. Hey, it's hot, but you know, it's just what it is. Hey, for those who are not feeling very well, let me encourage you to say a prayer. Say a prayer and mean it. Prayer works all the time. Not sometimes, all the time.
Where will I go? What will I do? Who will I be without a woman like you? Oh, a woman like you. Have I told you? Have I shown you what I'm feeling when I hold you? It feels like heaven surrounds
Let me just say a special good night. Hey, to my good buddy. Hey, the man Plassy. Down in the Green Bay area. Stonewall Jackson. Hey, good night, Nalda Jarvis. How we doing, Nalda? Good night to you and your brother. Hey, let me say hail up to my brethren, Jablaki. Hey, bless up, King.
Have I told you? Have I shown you what I'm feeling when I hold you? It feels like heaven, heaven surrounds me. Every time you wrap your arms around me, and there's nothing I can say you'll ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you. When you're with me, when you kiss me, when you tell me how much you miss me, every moment we're together brings us closer
Let me just say happy birthday.
to forever.
Hey, to those who are celebrating today.
There's nothing I
Let me just say a special happy birthday going out to Selenica Roach Parker.
deserve
That's Mrs. Selenica Roach Parker.
a woman like you.
A former co-worker of mine. She worked at State Insurance Company Limited. Hey, happy birthday, Selenica. Have greetings coming to you from the entire crew. SIC Vintage Group. Wishing you all the best on your birthday today. And hoping that you'll celebrate many, many, many more. Also, to those who celebrated in the not too distant past, my sister celebrated yesterday, one of my sisters, that's Bridget Richards, over there in the United States. Belated birthday greetings, Bridget. Also,
What I'm feeling
another member of the SIC Vintage Group,
when I hold
Mrs. Ruby Henry Frederick.
feels like heaven
She too celebrated yesterday, the 8th.
surrounds me.
I hope you had a good birthday, Ruby. Ruby McKem, so much.
Your arms around me.
Hey, still enjoy it tonight, Ruby. Continue the session tonight. Hey, bless up. To those who will be celebrating in the not too distant future,
Of a woman like you.
2 more members, hey, from the group.
I can say you'll ever do.
Boy, September full up with them people, boy.
There's nothing I can say you'll ever do
Celebrating tomorrow.
to deserve
Let me make sure about that right. Yes, tomorrow.
a woman like you.
Eleanor Perrott.
When you're with me,
Hey, man, I'll give this live security reasons.
when
Hey, celebrate the birthday when it comes tomorrow, Ellie.
much you
Enjoy it to the maximum.
every moment
I hope and pray
with
that you'll celebrate many more.
brings us
And the following day, Monday,
closer to forever.
hey, Yvette Moore.
There's nothing I can
She's celebrating on the 11th. We call her Elder Moore. No, not Elder Moore, Pastor Moore, Pastoress Moore, Preacher Moore. Hey, advance birthday greetings to you, Miss Moore. I hope and trust that you'll have a good one when it comes around on Monday. And Eleanor, you enjoy yourself tomorrow. Hey, Selenica. Hey, take the whole weekend. Bless up yourself.
Shown you what I'm feeling when I hold you. It feels like heaven, heaven surrounds me. Every time you wrap your arms around me, and there's nothing I can say or ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you. No, there's nothing I can say or ever do to deserve
Sounds of the Man Morgan Heritage.
I'm thankful for a woman like you.
Hey, that's the name of the tune. A classic. Hey, what's up, Annette? Big up yourself, big up yourself.
Most of us take our eyesight for granted. And just as you wouldn't go to a doctor unless you felt ill, many of us don't bother having an eye test until we suspect that something's wrong. Yet regular eye tests are important, because unlike many parts of the body, your eyes don't tend to start hurting if your sight starts to fail. Problems with vision can be almost imperceptible at first. Regular eye checks mean that any issues with your eyes can be found early, often before you notice any symptoms, and many of these conditions can be treated if they're diagnosed early. It's recommended that people should have an eye test every 2 years. There are certain cases in which more frequent checks would be prudent, such as a child who already wears glasses, people with diabetes, those aged over 40 with a family history of glaucoma, and people aged 70 or over. And remember that eye tests aren't purely about making sure you still have 20/20 vision. A sight test can detect health conditions that affect your eyes, including diabetes and macular degeneration. Make the health of your eyes a priority.
Regular health exams and tests can help find problems before they start. They also can help find problems early, when your chances for treatment and cure are better. Which exams and screenings you need depends on your age, health and family history, and lifestyle choices such as what you eat, how active you are, and whether you smoke.
To make the most of your next checkup, here are some things to do before you go. Review your family health history. Find out if you are due for any general screenings or vaccinations. Write down a list of issues and questions to take with you.
Yes, those checkups are very important, very, very, very important. The older you get, the more important they become. I'm beginning to see the wisdom in that. Boy, things I've seen happening in the not too distant past. People who have gone down, people who are challenged now. It's just a challenge. So let me just encourage persons to go and have a checkup, to make sure that everything is okay. Maybe you might just discover something in its early stage where you can, address it immediately. That's very, very, very important. And also with your eyes, make sure you go and get your eyes checked. School has started. I hope that parents would have taken the opportunity to see what they could, get an eye exam done for the children to make sure that they're seeing the board properly, etc., etc., etc. That's very important also. Well, again, as I keep reminding every time that I come here, we're in the throes of the hurricane season that would have started the 1st of June, and we're getting into a very active period. Praise the Almighty that a very dangerous one was coming down our side, but through His mercies, He has moved it away from us. That would have been Hurricane Lee. I think Lee is the name of it, Hurricane Lee. It got up to a Category 5, and my understanding from the latest forecast is that it should be increasing. It fell off. It should be increasing again. I'm not sure if it's just out at sea. Let's hope that it is, and that is not going to another landmass, no place. Let's not wish that on anybody at all. So they stays out at sea. I believe that there's some warnings out there in relation to not be at the beach at this point in time because of rip current and swells and the kind of stuff that should be up. So let us follow the advice of the forecasters and stay away from that for now. Let that subside, even though it's way out there. Based on the power, it's doing a little thing to the seas, and that is coming ashore here to us. So I would want to believe that there's a small craft advisory in place, and beachgoers should try to not take on that at this point in time, because I read something just as I was sitting here where the authorities are saying to, and this is me in my language, my layman language, what I understood it to be saying is that, they don't want to put themselves and what they have to do to respond to these kind of distress. If there's any distress, they would prefer not to have to deal with that and put their own lives at risk in order for a rescue. So let us assist them and stay put. If you must go to the beach, just have a little thing on the sand and don't venture into the water, please. And, be careful and watch children, because you know that children in their innocence, when they see seawater, so they just want to be in it. So parents, guardians, those of you who might be partying on the beach and have children there, keep a watchful eye on them to keep them out of the water. That is very, very, very important. Time in studio 8:29 p.m. And how am I gonna start tonight? I'm gonna start with the cabinet notes from this week. It is Saturday. From this week, somebody told me, or a few persons text me on WhatsApp me and tell me I don't give out the number enough. Well, I thought that this number was a well-known number. If you want to call in to join the program, to bring a point, to make a point, to express anything, feel free. You can give me a call on 462-1100, 462-1100, and or you could send a WhatsApp at 464-4201, 464-4201. Not everybody like to have their voice on the radio for one. I don't know. People still scared in Antigua for whatever reason. So you might want to use the WhatsApp avenue, 464-4201, or if you're gonna call, it is 462-1100. Also, again, I got here maybe about 7:30. Just make sure I'm set up and everything relaxing. And I've been listening to the tunes for the police, for Police Week. I'm not sure. I believe they might be starting tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can tell me. I think tomorrow might be the service. I stand to be corrected if such is the case. But I was listening to the Calypsos, and one of them there kind of, got my energy running. One of them there that sing something about don't brand me as a frequent flyer. I've just gotten the songs in them tonight for myself, so I haven't had them set up as how I would like to have them set up in my libraries yet. So I'm not just able to go through it and play it. But that one there, that one there, I like it. It's witty, put together good. As Fire said in his tune, this past carnival, you must learn how to interpret things when you listen to them, and I like that. I like how that was put together. When you see me traveling, me travel here, me travel there. Don't brand me as a frequent flyer. I'm getting strategies together to fight crime here in Antigua. I like that. I like how the one there was put together. They seem to have a good amount. I'm not sure as to the total number, but that one in particular, I don't know who's the officer who would have sang it as yet and that kind of stuff. But I like that one there. I like the one there. I like the one there. All right, let me just get myself sorted out now. What am I going to go with? I need to go and get that set up. So let me just run this while I get the notes together. Stay with me.
A big strong muscle man, like he on a mission. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
We're going there with this one, boy. Let me just switch to this one. Okay. Alright.
Oh, oh, the honor man crying. Yeah, yeah, the honor man calling. What goes around comes around. Oh, yeah, yeah, it went around and came around. Somebody on the honor man. Somebody on the honor man. Somebody on the honor man. A honor man on the honor man.
Hey Dave, listen on top of that. Leave that alone right there. I don't know why that one came up when I went to get what I wanted to get to. Anyway, yes. So as I said, I'm going to be starting with the cabinet notes that was published. I believe it was published on the 7th, but cabinet took place on the 6th, Wednesday the 6th. And a few things I saw in there. I don't know if it's just how I think, or I don't know if I'm not understanding a couple of things. And I said to myself, let me just highlight one or two of what jumped at me. I don't know if persons might be able to assist me. As I said, you could give me a call 462-1100, or you could WhatsApp me on 464-4201 as we go down the line with that. All right, we're going to drop off the part. Cabinet start this session, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go with, I think that might have been the first paragraph or the first notes that they wanted to get to the public. Sometimes when you look at what comes out in this cabinet notes, you wonder what they really discuss in cabinet for so long. If this is, outside of national security matters, that's not going to be there. If this is what the discussion for cabinet is like. But anyway, number one, the cabinet invited to its meeting the Commissioner of Police and 6 of the top brass of the Royal Antigua and Barbuda Police Force and the Chief of Defense Staff of the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force in order to discuss the manner in which the use of illegal firearms can be further curbed. The police reported that 35 unlawful firearms were seized during stop and search operations, which have been carried out by joint police and military personnel. A number of options were examined to increase sentences to be imposed on those persons found with unlicensed firearms, whatever may be their purpose. That sentence there, I don't know what your understanding of it is. Let me go again. A number of options were examined for increased sentences to be imposed on those persons found with unlicensed firearms, whatever may be their purpose. Am I understanding that to say? I don't want to say that the cabinet is throwing its hand up in the air. But if you're examining ways to increase sentences or whatever it is you're trying to do in relation to the unlicensed firearms, and I don't think that persons can deny that there is that problem in Antigua and Barbuda now, irregardless of what the statistics might show in terms of what is reported. We know what happens on the ground here. Whatever may be their purpose, I don't know if that's just the writing style or what. Or is it that they're saying that, well, look, even if you move whatever the years is 3 times, it's not going to be a deterrent. I found that instructive. And I was saying to a friend of mine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't heard the Commissioner of Police voice in relation to nothing to do with guns and gun crimes ever since he suggested or recommended to the cabinet, if you want to call it targeted state of emergency, or to have that on the books if it's necessary, if it becomes necessary. Based on what the discussions might have been in the public, I haven't heard his voice again. I don't know if he has become, let me not use that shy. He has become shy in relation to that. I don't think, if he is, I don't think he needs to be nowhere. I hear a lot of people bashing him for that. I am one that, no, I don't have a problem with the recommendation that he would have made. My understanding is that he has suggested to the government to have it on the books in the event it becomes necessary, where you'd have to shut down maybe certain areas, whether it is for searching purposes, etc. I don't know. I really don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see what harm that could be. I hear some commentators on the radio saying that the commissioner asked for state of emergency. I don't think that's the case. And not everything comes down to politics. Not every discussion comes down to politics. And I'm talking to some of the commentators that I hear on the radio. Not everything comes down to politics. Just talk the truth. I don't know that the gentleman asked for no state of emergency. He says, like what is happening in certain other Caribbean islands, the need might occur in the future, where you might have to be doing some things targeted at certain communities, certain hotspots, etc. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Again, as I keep saying, as a matter of fact, in the same notes, if I'm not mistaken, oh yes, look at this up here. It says, it was the sentence right after. It was reported that several business persons may have unlawfully acquired firearms after being denied an application for a firearm license in order to protect themselves. Right? Criminals have both acquired or rented firearms in order to carry out robberies and other criminal acts that involve the use or threat of use of a firearm. And there must be some level of intelligence from which the police would be speaking and advising the political directorate as to an assessment of what's happening on the street. So I don't think that we can take this thing in isolation. And again, as I keep saying, I live in Antigua. I'm on the streets. I know what it is, and you certainly approach going to a supermarket or going to a shop after 7 o'clock, when you don't have light, sunlight. You take that experience differently, or you approach that situation differently with them kind of times. That's a reality. You just don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when somebody might be looking to rob an establishment or might be looking to rob you. And I'm in no way trying to stay in the country internationally. We are having a discussion on air, good, bad, or indifferent, and that's the reality. So for persons to believe that those persons in power who have access to certain information don't know what they're saying, when if you're on the street here and you know what's going on, you can see what's happening. And I believe that the police department should have every tool in its toolkit to fight crime. I really believe that, and I make no apologies to that. That whether or not police officers abuse the privileges that are given to them by law, etc., no, that's a different issue. And then if you need to strengthen that part, if it's an internal affairs department or whatever it is, then that's a different issue. But I think that the public should continue to feel that level of ease that we have known for time and time past, decades and decades upon how we have felt, how we would have moved in Antigua. I really do think so. And the legal guns is an issue here that we have to look at. It is true that it would appear in certain circumstances you may want to say that where it is turf wars and them kind of stuff that's going on. Yes, there's that element to it. But also we know of the robberies. So when I saw that part that says whatever may be their purpose, that is it struck me as if, well, I was wondering to myself, I should say, whether it's like they're putting up their hands and say, well, look, you know what? This is the situation. I was talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about the porous borders. And then I was listening to the news a few days ago. And I thought I heard it being said, they have these, what they call them, ghost guns. and I think it was reported that they would have, the police that is, would have confiscated two of them. As the old elders would say, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, for us to stick our head in the sand and behave as if, well, this is not the case, no. And as you would have seen the police themselves saying, some business people have taken to acquiring a firearm illegally in order to protect themselves and their property. And I'm sure that in reality, that's not limited to business people alone. What is going to be the plan going forward? The same note says that further consultations between the Attorney General Office and the Royal Police Force to determine the extent to which the law governing punishment of possession and licensed firearms should be strengthened. That's ongoing. Or I said there will be further consultation. That should be ongoing. I don't know if the police PRO department is as active as it should be, as active as it should be in interacting with the public, through, well, one time the person who's in charge of that told me that he speaks to the national media and then the information disseminates on there. But from time to time, I think the public would need to hear from the police department in relation to how they proceed in what they would like for the public to do, how they would like for the public to assist the police as they go about implementing their, whatever the plan is, to look at the situation that's going on. So I just wanted to flag that was of some concern to me, and then maybe somebody can tell me if I have it wrong or if they have another thought to that. Also, one of the hot button issue, one of the hot button topic issue that has been around for a while is mental health, and what's happening with some of our young people in relation to that. That also was in the cabinet. That also was in the cabinet notes. Cabinet invited the Minister of Social Transformation to its meeting in order to examine the nation's policy on handling persons suffering with mental health challenges. The Celeste Bird Medical Center is not designed to treat mental patients. The Clearview Mental Hospital is a place where patients suffering mental issues are to be treated, since a psychiatrist is assigned to that hospital. However, many patients who are in a state of readiness to return to their homes have been abandoned by family members. All right, that part I'm not going to be looking at too much. That's important, in terms of not to belittle that point. If persons, family members, they're on treatment and they're in a position where they ought to not be at the institution, these family members should step up. Again, I don't know how the law is going to be amended to look at that, but I'll wait for that, and then we'll have the discussion. But I can remember listening to somebody on another media platform talking about the mental health part, and I thought I heard them say that children below a certain age, they can't be at Clearview. I thought I heard that. Good night, caller.
Good night.
Hey, what's up, King?
Go on, babe.
Hey, me cool, man. How you doing?
Me there, man, me there.
I hope that you're feeling much better. Somebody told me certain
listen
things.
program every night, but sometimes I really get tuned in because I have too much for me,
Yeah, man.
But from time to time, there's still good program and good topic, but there's a few things I want to say to you right now still.
Go ahead, man.
I ask some question that it is relevant question there, and I think all our can help. In all our country we go to. You check all out now.
True.
Eh?
True, that's true.
Check all our way. You know, only check our police and them. You check all our way. But I'm going to tell you what. And many our problem. If you cannot one area, angle, nor corner for solution for some of these problems, Chuck.
Correct.
Because them stem from different areas. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these things stem from different areas. What happened to is this. Some of us make up our mind for work hard, and when our next man work hard and invest his money into whatever that he do and put down his money out there in the opening that everybody can see, thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars you invest, and people go and distress you at night time, daytime, all kind of time. Not only them waiting on Walton Avenue have looking on a dread, because you see, our may just have all kind of like different things on our head, but a wide scope of things, because you see, when a man don't invest his money, a man don't put down his money, no. Me and you can say what how feel, no. Oh, a man should not kill beef for two sweet potato. That's how you look at it. But honestly, here we go. You beef are put in your work and you lose thousands of dollars by people who not put their hand not even want to work for you. They're not even interested in the work what you do. But you provide and get people and get to work and get them done, and them all of them they do tap aside and just decide that them they will just come and just take up what you have, whatever it be. Whether potato or okra or whatever, even animal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And when they do these things, I distress people. And some people make great sacrifice. Do you know goat in Antigua costs $10,000 one goat?
No.
You don't know that?
No, I didn't.
Huh?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Well, me tell you that straight out.
One goat?
One goat.
Wow.
One lamb goat in Antigua, yeah. And when we don't hang up, right, you can hear man call you tell you, he not call them price yet. Because we can call man who me know have goat that cost $10,000 now.
I know, I have a friend there that had some goat boy and then thief the goat. Man, even though the man a goat now. The guy come from Parham too.
Alright, you know a guy named Fence?
Fence?
Yeah, the man have the shoes store.
Yeah, we know Fence.
Yeah. That man that got goat cost $10,000, man.
Oh.
But me just try to show you when people invest their money like that. Because people say, oh, man a shot man for this and man a shot man. So there's something going on. And so it's something really go. And them something don't really need it either. But all I have to do the right thing. Respect each other and each other things,
Mm.
Because all we have one aim in life. But somehow aim to destroy each other. And while being me work hard, you decide that you're going to just come and take up hard. But what? You're going to distress the wrong man the wrong day. And then that will be the end of everything, and then that there will be a problem, and bring a problem for all our we. Because you not going to know what happened. Me not going to know what happened. I will just have in our mind, well then, what carry on. But all I may say too is this. Our law. You see the law?
Mm-hmm.
The law means a lot. You want me to tell you why? The law govern the country, you see? And all are we. If there are law that protect our we in the things that I will do, I will respect ourselves towards each other and tap them to each other, them foolishness, so you create problem, because I don't need that. I don't really need them kind of a life, I don't need them problem. I don't need to live good amongst each other. You don't think so?
Yes, I agree with you.
Huh?
Yes, I agree with you.
I don't need to see each other work hard and strive and just say, hey, look, the man who work hard, let me just go the other way and try hard too. You know, whatever way, I don't have to go in the same avenue, you know. But how can you just strive to be the best of what are we doing, you know? Make sure that I do the right thing, because when I do these things that they way the problems start to develop now. And it put pressure upon our law enforcement. Sometimes a man can't even do nothing. Man isn't even not to be blamed. They can't do nothing, but I will create our own problem, because even me here, Sean brother say something, right? Listen to this, me here, Sean say something. Sean say all the small business, all the black people business in Antigua good on, right? But watch this. I shut ourselves now on foot now. Before all the business them come along, and then same people I'm that deal with all the time, beef.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
And all of a sudden now that I'll just chill on our people and just decide that I'll go Chinese, white man, see and for our people to stop. So what did I tell you? I'll shut ourselves now on foot.
I agree with you. I agree with you with that.
We are part of the destruction that is happening to our own self. Because all of a sudden, one ton of business just rise up in Antigua, and everybody go support them. And Antiguans, women, you have fried them to look at back and neck, and them to look at chicken leg, and then to look at potato chips, I'll go and buy for them Friday night and Saturday night. Like all them gone through in the know. Everybody shawarma and alwama and melwama and all and kind of something that we're accustomed to know. And I used to be healthy people. You know that?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
I used to be healthy people. For our hospital never back up with all them kind of problem and all them something. Because the kind of food, you see what I say? So, I'll just try to do the right thing and just go on the program, brother. Let's go and listen to you from time to time. Me go and cook a dog food.
All right, man. Thanks much.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Keep good. Yes, Bubble there. You know, Bubble raised some points there that I agree with him. What I find to myself is that we did not get to this state where we are now overnight. So it's not going to change overnight. By that I mean there's no silver bullet. It's a number of things that need to happen that will then affect the overall picture. For those of you who follow sports, let me just go to basketball. Sometimes you have a member on the team. That member might not be one of the star players. As a matter of fact, that member might not get much playing time. But that person's value to the team is in the locker room. That person could be the one who can go to the superstar and represent on behalf of those other players who can't. Go on behalf of the coaches and you know, we call those kind of persons the connectors. By nature, I'm not a person who worry much about problems. Once you know what the problem is, why are you going to worry about the problem? You worry about the solution. As Bob would have said, and I agree with him, community involvement plays a part. Some people of influence in the very community, you would hear them, oh, me not been a snitch. But then you hear the police say, if you see something, say something. How does that work? When the police is doing something on one hand, but you, a leader in the community, is peddling the opposite. So how do you deal with that? That's what. How does that help? That's just one instance. The community itself would sometimes pass on information to the authority, and then based on leaking of information, etc., 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 from the authority, their well-being might be at risk. That has to be looked at. I am one who believe that government have to do everything or should do everything in a sense. And let me explain what I mean when I say that. When things go good in the country, the government gets the praise. It's government policies, etc., etc., etc. So when you go bad in the country, that then they get the same blame there. Or then they get the same treatment there. It's because of lack of policies or whatever the case is. You know? For me, there's no doubt that our police force, our police officers, men and women, have to go beyond that, beyond the limit. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Having said that, however, what assistance are they getting to lighten that burden that they're carrying? In one of the calypsos, I hear one of the officers saying that there must be a collaboration between parents and the force. That's one. But to me, in my mind, and as a trade unionist, we often say to employers, make sure that the employees have the tools to do their work. Take away that excuse for not having to do the work. And then you can then say, well, hey, this and this and this is the case. So, for instance, in certain establishments you go, the temperature might be too cold. And the staff might be complaining that, it's just too cold, I'm not comfortable. How you expect them to be as productive in that situation there if you can't adjust that? Simple as that. I am taken aback when I heard the commissioner said a few weeks ago that the radio situation within the force, where it has gone to again. I mean, I think about that all the time. Because if you don't have your basic communication covered, what are you doing? What are you really doing? How can the officers really be expected to do certain things when something as simple and basic as that is not covered? And don't tell me nothing about money. Because coming back to government again, and why I said I blame government, it's a matter of prioritizing how you're spending your money. It's a matter of prioritizing how you're spending your money. If your money is going to the places that makes a difference. And I think we have an issue there. I would like somebody to explain to me why the police force again, it's not the first time, but why the police force is again at the point where communication is a major issue. I would like somebody to really explain that to me. And they can't blame that on COVID now, because it's not after COVID the police and then develop the problem with that. But when you say certain things in this country, people say this and people say that, well, me not really business about what people say. That don't have a thing to do with me. They can go and talk all they want. But these I mean, something as simple as that, you know what difference that would make for a police officer? To have radio communication. As simple as that. I can bet that if that is put in place, we see a marked increase in certain other things. How, talking about the connector in the team, you will see with proper communication some things happening. I believe that. But people come and tell you all kind of this, all kind of that. The money can't go there, the money can't there, but then I'll hear how money is spent. I'll hear how money come with the treasury. I'll hear who had that contract, who had that contract, who had this contract, who had that contract, who have to pay somebody and they forget out some money. We hear all that. How does that benefit the wider community. Anyway, let me not go no more further ranting than that. But going back to the cabinet notes with the Clearview situation again, as I said. I mean, and I guess both of them are tied. I remembered maybe about a few months ago, who I was talking to? I was talking to somebody in the system, and they told me that they had to order some special toilet bowls. And it was years ago from what that person. It was a permanent secretary I was speaking with who told me that. Problem still exists today. If we all know that Mount St. John is not designed to treat mental patients, if we know that and we in the system know that, does what obtained at Clearview now reflect what needs to be done? Of course, you're not going to get an ideal situation. Let's assume that you might need 5 psychiatrists, you might only have 3 or 2. But is what's happening at Clearview now, does that reflect the basic plan to address the situation where we are now? From what I hear now. I'm trying to remember who it was that told me, but somebody told me that children, I don't know if it's on the 18 or what, cannot be housed there. Somebody can call me and correct me if I'm wrong with that. Also, going down into the notes, daycare centers for the elderly are likely to become necessary throughout Antigua and Barbuda. Let me just reverse a little bit. And the minister also reported that Alzheimer's is affecting a larger portion of the nation's elderly citizens than ever before. Daycare centers for the elderly are likely to become necessary throughout Antigua and Barbuda. Right? When I read that, I smiled. Now, why did I smile? Some time ago, the government had introduced some legislation to govern how these daycare centers for the elderly operate. And there was a big hue and cry. I'm not debating whether the big hue and cry was right, yes or no. But that ran the government out of its position. And my understanding is that basically these centers, as they refer to them here, daycare centers, elderly home, operate without any oversight. I made a note in my, for how long I've been following that, right? I made a note in my topics to look at. It just never flowed that I can have that discussion as yet. There was a name for it. HFL something. I have it here. I know I have it here in my list. Where I have had discussions publicly. I might have been interviewing the minister at some point in time, Minister Joseph, and he told me that it was something that they were going to look at again. I'm just trying to look see if I see there's something HFL or something to that effect. Oh, related. Healthcare, yeah. Health Facility License Bill, HFLB, to be revisited. Right? Yes, that's it. The Health Facility License Bill. And as far as I know, that has not been picked up. That discussion, consultation, have not been picked up again. So here is it that we're saying that it's going to be necessary. But when you go to some of these centers, let me not say all of them, when you go to some of these centers, what governs how they function? I know of instances where persons have taken one of their parent to one of these institutions, and obviously the bed sore that the person, the parent developed. I know that for a fact. So when I saw that, I was just wondering. I don't know. Maybe that was forgotten about. That was forgotten about. Moving on in terms of the discussion again, with going back to the cabinet decision. 3. Cabinet invited APA water manager, the chief financial officer APA, the manager of the electricity department to address 3 matters. 1. The adequate supply of potable water. APA produces a little more than 7 million gallons daily, but demand exceeds 11 million gallons daily. I thought the figure that they were banding about was 10 million. But I see says here today it exceeds 11 million. So maybe it's 12 million, maybe it's 13 million, maybe it's 14 million. I'm just going by what it just says it exceeds it. Making up the shortfall is to be achieved by building a 3.5 million gallon plant at Bethesda. I don't know that that's nothing new. We've been hearing that. I think they even went as far as to say that parts of it or portion of it is on island already. I think I heard that in the news someplace. Where are we? Yes, 3.5, and adding several smaller plants to the Fort James and the adding several smaller plants at Fort James and Fries. 60% of all desalinated water that is produced comes from the unit at Crabs. Any catastrophe that can adversely affect water supply, any catastrophe there can adversely affect the water supply throughout Antigua. Hint, hint, people. 2 of the 6 units at Crabs have been refurbished. They are 30 years old. The plant at Fries has been recently upgraded to 85% capacity. So at least we're now hearing that they're not even at 100% capacity out of the Fries, but they're still going to be adding some smaller plants according to the notes here. And one of the 4 units at Crabs that have to be refurbished that are 30 years old. I can remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have a recording when the gentleman is saying, I think it was Matthias, his name, is saying that they were having some issues because, based on the age, in terms of parts. I should have looked for that and played now. Anyway, keep that in mind. The electricity manager shared with cabinet the reasons for a spate of electricity outages during past weekend. Now, this is from the 6th, right? So that means he would have been when he said last weekend, he would have been speaking to the 2nd and the 3rd. Well, from the 1st, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Bear that in mind. While undergoing maintenance, a failure at the Fries Hill substation led to automatic load shedding that caused many homeowners to suffer a loss of electricity. Feeder was overloaded and caused a loss of 14 megawatts at Black Pine, and in parentheses, it has Antigua Power Company to be put out for many hours. Alright, so let me reverse. In terms of the weekend that they're referring to, the 1st, 2nd, or the 3rd, there was a weekend before that when the whole place went upside down. I was right here on air when the electricity went out. I left here about 10 o'clock the night, went home. No power came on at home until about, I would say about 1 o'clock. And then when the power came back on at 1 o'clock or thereabout, you had low voltage for about 40 minutes. I don't remember nobody saying nothing about that. And that was not last weekend. That was the weekend before that. If I'm not mistaken, I could look at my notes from that show. So, when I heard them talking about the last weekend there, and I can tell you, I don't think the electricity went off in the Yorks area, at least by my area, today. Neither yesterday. Yesterday would have been Friday. Not once while I'm home. But from before that, the electricity have gone off at least twice sometime a day. For days before that. Until I started talking to some people and was wondering, but Is there something else happening up there that they're not telling us about? Because of how fast the current was coming up. I don't know what was your experience, but that has been my experience in the Yorkshire area. Just to continue on now. So that's the first part I want to deal with this. Now this part, it says a feeder was overloaded and caused a loss of 14 megawatts at Black Pine. And then in parentheses, I say behind that, it has Antigua Power Company to be out for many hours. Now, what is... I don't know why they had Antigua, or why, if this is her, so put that out there. I don't know why he has Antigua Power Company in parentheses behind Black Pine. Because if I'm not mistaken, and please, somebody can correct me. I thought that Black Pine was supposed to be passed back over to APA. That was a few months ago. And why that stuck with me. I can remember when the transfer was to have happened, it was said that you know what, let me see if I could find it. It was said that basically the engines in them might be useless. Alright. I'm looking at the story in the Antigua newsroom. What's the date on this? The 3rd of March 2019. Black Pine engines might be useless by the time they're handed over. Government is considering replacing the gas guzzling Black Pine engines when they are handed over to the state in June. Okay, so this is 2019, June 2019. So they would have been handed over in about June 2019. Currently, the engines are in the hands of the Antigua Power Company, the operator of the Black Pine plant. The company has informed the Minister of Public Utilities that at least 2 of the plant engines have a very short life left. In order to keep energy levels at the level that is acceptable, the engines will have to be replaced. Head of the Environmental Division addressed the Cabinet on the possibility of receiving funding from the Green Climate Fund to assist in replacing those engines from the Black Pine plant that will soon be retired. Cabinet has agreed that as the life of all fossil fuel engines end, they will be replaced by green energy sources including wind and solar. The Green Climate Fund will likely be one of the sources of funding to end the dependence on fossil fuel energy. The structure of the relationship between the GCF and Antigua and Barbuda was also examined. As a matter of there's more to it. Ambassador Blacklane sits on the board of the GCF and exercises significant influence in decision making. Alright, and that's it there. That's the end of the story there. That's a story, again, as I said, dated March 3rd, 2019. So when I saw it says here, a feeder was overloaded and caused a loss of 14 megawatts at Black Pine, and in parentheses, Antigua Power Company, I was wondering, is the note saying that Black Pine is still being operated by the Antigua Power Company, or what? Or is it, or should it have said Black Pine and maybe some set from the Antigua Power Company? I don't know. You know, and when this information is put out there to the public, it's for the public consumption. And as I said to somebody, and I'll say this too, I'll say this at this point too, I find that the media in Antigua needs to start to do some work. And as I said that, let me just big up, or let me just say good night and hail up to Nikki Phoenix. That's one of the reasons why I believe some people don't like Nikki. Because Nikki is not a 9-talker type of person. Nikki keeps her notes, obviously, and she keeps following up on things that should be followed up on. Somebody might say, well, we'll tell you something in 2 weeks' time. She makes a note of it. And when 2 weeks pass, she asks you about it. And then you would hear them say, oh, well, we forgot about that next week. You know? I find that the media in this country, people who host shows, these people who ask questions, I find that much more needs to be done by these people, holding public officials accountable, asking the questions that needs to be asked, because it can only go to the betterment of the country, in my opinion. And this is one, because I don't understand this. What exactly is this saying? Black Pine in parentheses Antigua Power Company. What does that mean? Moving on. The cabinet was informed that 2 massive tanks built for liquid natural gas, LNG, storage, have been installed near the LNG electricity plant that ought to come into commission in October. The LNG plant will provide electricity that will exceed the peak use of power by more than 10 megawatts. Now I'm going to have to do a little research on that, because at one point in time, wonder if I was supposed to be able to find it. Where would I have had that? At one point in time, I was keeping a record as to the different plants and where we were in terms of what they're producing. I was supposed to be able to find that. Yes, this would have been going back to last time. Would have been going back to what's the date? Megawatts at look like about 14 of February 2023 at the time. APC, you have a APC Black Pine 27 megawatts, and then APC had what we had the 17 and the 33, and it looks like the LNG plant is a 40 watt megawatt plant. It looks like it's a 40 watt megawatt plant from what I see here. And at the time they were saying that there was a 20 megawatts as it relates to renewable energy. And this was at the 14th of February 2023. And whoever it was I was giving information, they said that they needed 100 megawatts to deliver smoothly, because I noted it. So between Black Pine, which is 27 megawatt, and 50 megawatts at APC, plus the LNG plant, 40 megawatts, and the 20 megawatt renewable, I think that they said that figure should be increasing as the government, goes to the wind and them kind of stuff. That should be increasing. So we're going to be at 137 megawatts when the LNG plant is completed and commissioned. Now, the notes, according to the notes, where at? Come back here. Notes. According to the notes, this LNG plant. Let me read exactly what it says, so that then it's saying to me. Bullet point 3 on the number 3. The cabinet was informed that 2 massive tanks built for liquid natural gas, LNG storage, have been installed near the LNG electricity plant that ought to come into commission in October. I'm assuming that's October of this year, right? Now remember that this is the cabinet notes that I'm reading from. If you all go to Antigua Newsroom, Antigua News page, what's the name of that? You'll see there. You'll see the same thing that I'm reading from here there. Now, even the ABS, LNG. There was a story on ABS News when the tanks and them came, and the gentleman who seems to be in charge of the plant from the Hadid side, he had something to say. Okay, it wasn't ABS. Let me see if it was on the Observer News. Observer News, LNG. I isolated it, but I have that on my desktop at home. Okay, yes, I have it here. So let me just go back to the cabinet notes first. Cabinet note says the cabinet was informed that 2 massive tanks built for liquid natural gas storage have been installed near the LNG electricity plant that ought to be commissioned in October. What we know, September. So that's going to be next month. Yeah? According to this. All right. Let's have a listen to this. This was on the 25th of August. So that's today the 9th, so that's about 2-3 weeks ago. Listen to this.
Now, Caribbean LNG Atlas Heavy Projects, the Antigua Power Company, and the Antigua and Barbuda Port Authority have taken the next step in securing the country's first plant which integrates liquefied natural gas or LNG infrastructure and power generation. At the Deepwater Harbor yesterday, 4 large LNG storage tanks arrived on the island, where the tanks are expected to be taken to the Crabs Peninsula, where they will be installed at the newly constructed Caribbean LNG terminal. Port manager Darwin Telemack gave opening remarks at the arrival of the tanks.
On board, there are 4 tanks and some additional pieces of equipment that are critical for the operationalization of the LNG plant at Crabs. This LNG plant is earmarked to facilitate supplying electric power through LNG to APUA, impacting on cost and efficiency of power, as well as providing avenues for additional improvements of the marketability of the Deepwater Harbor, because we anticipate in short order that we will be able to get some LNG to be available to ships here as well. So something very exciting is happening in Antigua with regards to the continued development of our ports.
The Crabs Peninsula is currently being dredged in order for barges carrying LNG fuel to do so. Kevin France, Business Development Director at Eagle LNG, gave a more technical breakdown of the importance of the LNG storage tanks to the facility.
We're here today to witness these 4 large 1,000 cubic meter tanks coming in. This is basically enough storage to run a power plant for 10 days, and they're cryogenically based LNG tanks. We have a bunch of vaporizers that will warm the gas back up. LNG is the type of thing where it's minus 160 degrees Celsius. So you take basically something the size of a ping pong ball, and when you warm it up, you have a beach ball of gas. So it's the lowest emitting hydrocarbon that's available. Methane is essentially 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens. And so it's a very, very clean burning fuel, and it's very efficient and very low cost. There's an abundance of it in the world.
Public Utilities Minister Melford Nicholas says the arrival of the 4 tanks signals a broadening of the country's energy supply sector. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Antigua Power Plant, Francis Deed, says Antigua remains strategically placed to lead the Eastern Caribbean in the energy sector.
So Antigua is strategically poised throughout the region to be able to fill ships and distribute. Kevin spoke about it earlier. We're going to have a loading station, which means we can take LNG out of those tanks, load them onto 40-foot tanks, and export. So it's going to be an export facility also. This is going to be a game changer in Antigua. Antigua is already a leader in the energy field, and this is just going to put us one step ahead of everyone else.
Director at Caribbean LNG, Khalid Hassan, gave a timeline for when the LNG facility may be operational.
But this project here is going to mean quite a lot for Antigua and Barbuda, because we're going to be providing jobs. There's going to be a lot of economic activity. Right now, we are doing that. Almost 70 or 80% of the workforce on these projects are local. Basically, it's new technology. We are carrying out the required training, both safety and technical, to make sure that people are adequately prepared to operate this plant successfully. And we look forward to getting this on stream We're working towards end of December. That's kind of optimistic, but we're trying to meet that target.
So let's go again. What's my name? Hassan something something. Let's go again.
So it's going to be an export facility also. This is going to be a game changer in Antigua. Antigua is already a leader in the energy field, and this is just going to put us one step ahead of everyone else.
Director at Caribbean LNG, Khalid Hassan.
Oh, so he's the director at the Caribbean LNG, something Hassan.
Hassan gave a timeline for when the LNG facility may be operational.
Here his timeline.
This project here is going to mean quite a lot for Antigua and Barbuda because we're going to be providing jobs. There's going to be a lot of economic activity. Right now, we are doing that. Almost 70 or 80% of the workforce on these projects are local. Basically, it's new technology. We are carrying out the required training, both safety and technical, to make sure that people are adequately prepared to operate this plant successfully. And we look forward to getting this on stream. We're working towards end of December. That's kind of optimistic, but we're trying to meet that target.
So, the end of December 2023 is kind of optimistic, but they're seeking to meet that target. While the cabinet notes is saying that that will come on stream in October. So which one do we believe? Which one do we believe? I'm not a journalist. So how come me hear the two of them and me recognize the difference between the two of them? And the journalists and them not recognize that. What work are the journalists and them doing? Alright, I just wanted to make that point there. Well, I'm going to move on from the cabinet notes now. And when it was, today is Saturday, so about Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, somebody called me. Somebody called me and said, somebody told them that the Alfa Nero was, the Alfa Nero miniature land, as we say locally here in Antigua. And then I said, okay, I'll ask a few questions, and before I was completed, the person called back and told me something to do with preparing for the hurricane or something like that. And then you would have heard the discussions ongoing as to it was a test and blah 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 blah. Then I saw a story. I saw a story on the Antigua newsroom site. You know, I keep getting them newsroom, news pages, whatever it was, that site. And it had a story. The story was on the 8th, so that's going to be yesterday, where it says billionaire from Maryland claims ownership of controversial 29 feet super yacht Alfa Nero and sues the Antigua government for millions. And as I read it, as I read the article, I smiled to myself at what the information that was coming out in that article. That caused me, as I read the article, I then went to do a timeline, if you want to call it that, on the Alfa Nero. Let me go to the article first. Let me go to the article first. Before, just give me a second. Let me just set up something there. Let me go to the article first, and then I will go to a recording. Right, I will go to a recording. So, the article, September 8th. Motor yacht Alfa Nero and American billionaire Eric Schmidt are starting to appear as star-crossed lovers they are not meant to be. The vessel, abandoned in 2022, saw a ray of hope when the government decided to auction it. So, I am one, and I'm sure that you all would have heard me say it before. I listen very closely to when I listen very closely to when people talk, the words that they use. And in beginning with this story here, he says, when the vessel was abandoned in February 2022, I went back and looked at some articles around that time, and what I came upon, the article that I came upon said that the vessel was blocked from leaving the Antigua port in February of 2022. Bear that in mind. Continuing. After seizing the luxury vessel on the 11th of April 2023, she was dubbed a hazard that had to be auctioned. And I believe the date, the 11th of April 2023, that they're talking about here, would have been when the government gained ownership. I believe that's when they went to Parliament and made an amendment to the Port Authority Act, and they then seized the vessel, or gain ownership of the vessel. To that would have been in April of 2023. That's now going to be about 14 months after the ship was blocked from leaving back in February 2022. Antigua lobbied the U.S. government to lift sanctions on the 269-foot-long ship to help auction it. Once this hurdle was passed, the super yacht Alfa Nero was auctioned on the 16th of June 2023 to ex-CEO Eric Schmidt on live TV for nearly $68 million. Let me go back to the timeline. So the auction would have been on the 16th of June, April, May, June. So that's about 2 months after the government got ownership of the vessel. The auction was followed by injunctions by Russian oligarch Andrew Gurev's daughter, Yulia, who claimed to be the rightful owner. Complicating the quagmire even further, an American billionaire, Warren Hall, I don't know if it's Hall or Halley, H-A-L-L-E, who has now sued the government of Antigua. To be honest, this thing has been making the rounds. It was sent to me, and I just didn't even read it, to be honest with you. It was only after I read the story that I went back and got it, a copy of it from a friend of mine, so that I have it. And in that suit, the businessman stated that on the 14th of March 2023, before the seizure of the vessel, he met with Prime Minister Gaston Brown for the purchase of the Oceanico Beauty. Now, this is according to papers that have been filed. I have not yet gotten a response from the other side, or papers from the other side. I'm not sure if that has been filed. When I tuned in to the Prime Minister's show this afternoon, in order to hear the other side, the Prime Minister was not on the program, and I haven't heard nobody yet say what is the reverse in terms of information. I'm just reading what was published, or what was, filed in relation to this suit that this gentleman is bringing. Right? He stated that on the 14th of March 2023, before the seizure of the vessel, he met with Prime Minister Gaston Brown for the purchase of the Oceanico Beauty. If I switch back now to the timeline, I'm going to be switching between that and that, right? So that's bear with me. The 14th of March 2023. According to this article, the gentleman said he met on the 14th of March 2023. To go back to the timeline, the government gained ownership of the vessel on the 11th of April 2023. So about a month after this gentleman alleging that he met with the Prime Minister about that. So a month after or a month before, however you want to put it. Good night, caller.
Good night, Biff.
Where's the king?
Boy, I'm a good brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, listening to you with reading out that, which I was listening already, I already hear it already on another program, but, you know, going back to some things, Biff, because, well, even, I'm going to go back to somewhere I hear Mr. Dutchko, that you're listening to hear is the Prime Minister was on this program tonight. You think I'm coincidence that you know me find it tonight?
I really don't know.
Okay then.
I don't know.
Which you know, Anna Schmidt really a pseudo government.
I didn't say that.
No, I know that.
Oh.
So I'm saying now with this other guy now, but what I'm saying now, what dealings that this other guy have with really with the situation with buying the boat while he's in the government? But he purchased it first before Smith or what?
No. He didn't purchase it before Smith. But just continue to listen, come. We'll go through it step by step as I do.
Yeah, Milk Harbor.
Right.
Okay then.
Bless.
Yeah.
All right. So as I was saying, and that's why I said I will be switching between the timeline and the article. According to the article, and this article basically was generated from the filings that was made in the suit that the gentleman, I don't know if it's Hall or Halley, H-A-L-L-E, Warren, H-A-L-L-E. He is suing a number of persons for damages, right? According to his filings, his documentation, he said that, let me just read you an article. The businessman stated that on the 14th of March, 2023, before the seizure of the vessel, he met with Prime Minister Gaston Brown for the purchase of the Oceanco Beauty. So he's saying that he met with the Prime Minister on the 14th of March. Bear in mind, again, as I said, I have not seen the other side of the papers if they have been filed, and I have not, at this point in time, heard the Prime Minister speak to it. So I'm only saying what is in the article for everybody to go and read. They can see it is out there public and taking it from there. So he said that that meeting took place on the 14th of March. When you switch to the timeline, right, government gained ownership of the vessel on the 11th of April, which is roughly a month after this gentleman alleged that he met with the Prime Minister. So it would seem reasonable to draw the conclusion that if such a meeting took place, the meeting took place before the government owned the vessel, when the vessel would have been seized and under sanction. All right. Continuing in the article now. Prime Minister Brown asked the entrepreneur, I guess it's the man Hall or Wall, wait, Hall, H-L-E, yes. Prime Minister asked the entrepreneur to top a previous offer for the pleasure craft, following which he could approve the matter in Parliament. Now, Port Authority would tell us when as they started to set up the auction, and I use that word carefully, I use that word carefully because I know that there are persons in the society who believe that an auction did not take place. What we saw on TV was not an auction, but that's a discussion for another time. But I can tell you, some persons in society are of that opinion. Port Authority would have to tell us, in setting up the parameters for the auction, quote unquote, when did they start to take bids or whatever the case is? What date? What was that date? I don't have that to hand. But why I say that is that if this information is correct, that is, that Prime Minister Brown asked the entrepreneur to top a previous offer for the pleasure boat, following which he could approve the matter in Parliament, does that mean that there was another bid, which some persons are saying that it could not be, because up to the time when they met, the government did not own the boat, one, or did somebody else say they want to buy the boat from the government when they would have gotten ownership of it? Because again, keep in mind that when the gentleman said he met, when this would have probably been said to him, according to his document, the boat was not owned by Antigua and Barbuda as yet. All right. So let me just go. The Prime Minister asked the entrepreneur to top a previous offer for the pleasure craft, following which he could approve the matter in Parliament. It would have done the businessman good to learn that the 120 million Alpha Nero was still under OFAC sanctions and considered blocked property. Unaware claimant Warren Hall instructed a transfer of 10 million to the trust account of Moore and Co. in Coral Gables, Florida, intending to purchase the vessel. Well, those things should be easy things to check, because if there's a transfer, there's going to be paperwork to show the transfer. So excited was the American to buy this vessel that he hired lawyers and professional captains for his soon-to-be asset. He transferred 10 million to the trust account and decided to charter the 29-footer for $800,000 a week as soon as he possessed the pleasure craft. All this took place even before the Andrew Gurez, whatever my name, yacht was seized, and that's the point I was making. According to the timeline, the ship was seized or became the property of the government on the 11th of April, and the gentleman would have said that he had a meeting or he spoke to the Prime Minister. That's what the gentleman is saying, on the 14th of March. So that just kind of amplified what I was saying. Finally, on the 11th of April, the ship was captured, followed by the live auction. So let me go to the timeline now. The 11th of April, that was when the government gained ownership, and the auction took place on the 16th of June, Friday the 16th of June, 2023. April, May, June, about 2 months after. And that's the one that we watched on television, where we saw Magistrate Dexter Wilson, I forgot the name of the next person, and there was a pastor there from, was he a pastor? Somebody from the, what's the name of that? Salvation Army. 3 persons were there. Continue that. Mr. Hall was informed 2 months later, on the 23rd of May, that the Prime Minister did not have the authority to sell him the super yacht, and it could only be bought in an auction. Right? So, the 23rd of May, and he's saying March, right, 2 months out, right, 14th of March to the 23rd of May, April, May. So that's about 2 months out, right, correct. They told him, I don't know who's the they who told him, but he was informed that the Prime Minister did not have the authority to sell the yacht, to sell him the super yacht, and it could only be bought in an auction. With a bid of 66 million, Warren Hall came second to Eric Smith, who won the battle with a cool 67.6 million. Now, when when they had the function on the TV, as I said, a pastor was there as well. Yes, there was the general. Well, I didn't know him as a pastor. I think he's from the Salvation Army. I was just responding to somebody there on the WhatsApp. When they had that stuff today, one was at 66 66.7, I think, and I said to myself, wow, isn't that a coincidence that two people they're making a bid and then that close? As a matter of fact, and I'm gonna go back to the recording because I did keep the program. I did keep what they were having. Somebody had asked, I think it was whoever was working for ABS. I'm not sure if it's Buford or somebody had asked Mr. Telemark, what would have happened if both persons had bid the same amount? Because I guess that they too was astonished that the bids were that close. The difference between both bids would have been $1.6 million. 66 million and 67.6. $1.6 million, thereabout. Go back to the article. I know persons are asking, is that a coincidence? Or was somebody, let me not call a name, or was somebody given some insider information for certain things? I'm just saying that's the discussion. That's the discussion that is out there on the street now. Continue the article. Schmidt, per clause, was allotted a week to complete the purchase of the vessel to the second highest bidder. No, read over that, Dave. Schmidt, per clause, was allotted a week to complete the purchase of the vessel, or the second highest bidder would be given the ship. Evidently, that hasn't happened. On the 29th of June, 2023, Hall took a significant legal step and filed an injunction preventing the sale of the motor vessel Alfa Nero to defaulter Eric Schmidt. The claim of $5.6 million was made for breach of contract from the defendants. In the past few months, Hall suffered a loss of nearly $210,000 pursuing and preparing for the Alfa Nero yacht. We can't wait. Okay, that is it. We can't wait to witness Hall emerging as the final owner of the super yacht Alfa Nero, beating billionaire Eric Schmidt, or will Eula Guev, whatever the girl name is, she's the daughter of the oligarch man, have the last laugh? Because as we know, she had filed a case as owner in the High Court, and that was denied, and that matter has been appealed. And I don't think that the appeal would have been heard as yet. So that is still out there, right? Also, I can recall at some point in time, at least the word on the street was that an action was brought on behalf of the man Hall, where he was of the opinion that, the 7 days had passed, and he should have been given ownership of the yacht. But after the legal action started to take place, it has been reported in the media that members of our government had indicated to the first man, Schmidt, not to pay in any monies or whatever the case is, or to hold on the payment pending the legal actions. And I can remember at one point in time the government offered to give the gentleman an indemnity in the event. So that's another thing going on there on that track, right? So there's many things happening at the same time, but this is this article. Since this article was on the 8th of September. Internet gone. Wow. Okay, that's my box here, and I don't have my charger. The charger is down in the car. 1 second. Let me see if I can get myself. Where is it? Which one is it now? Which one is it? I believe it's gonna be this one here. Let me see if I can get myself some internet. Yes. Where was I now? Yes. The gentleman had said that he, or they told him to hold off pending the legal things. Well, on I think it might have been today, no, or yesterday. I'm just trying to pull it up as I'm speaking. The dated the 9th today. Well, the story is dated today. There's a story in Bloomberg that speaks to ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt scraps $67.6 million purchase of abandoned super yacht. So, according to that story, he has pulled out of that. I guess he take his money and say, he done with the party. He not gonna be heading with that. So according to this story here on the 9th, today's date, Mr. Smithers has pulled out. Let me know, then go to, where do I have that now? Let me go to this recording at this point in time. Let me go to this recording at this point in time.
Okay, so we've got an update on the saga of motor yacht Alfa Nero in Antigua. It seems that buying and selling a formerly sanctioned Russian super yacht is more complicated than it seems, said nobody ever. The status of this yacht seems to be getting more and more entangled in legal issues as the days go by. They auctioned the yacht live on TV in Antigua on the 16th of June, and the winning bidder of the auction was Eric Schmidt, American billionaire, with a bid of $67.6 million US. However, since then, the daughter of Andrei Guryev has come forward claiming she was the owner all along. She just misplaced the keys or something. And now one of the prospective buyers from that TV auction is suing the government for breaking the agreements for the purchase of that yacht. Warren Hale is an American billionaire businessman of the Hale companies, and he filed a lawsuit suing the government of Antigua. Now, he would eventually place second in the auction with a bid of $66 million US. This was on live television in Antigua, this auction. Now, the winning bidder being Eric Schmidt. However, there was a clause in the auction that said if he didn't complete the sale within 7 days, then they would automatically accept the bid from the next biggest hire, or the next highest bidder, should I say, which was Mr. Hale. Now, that didn't happen, apparently. So Mr. Hale filed a lawsuit claiming he's out of pocket from 2 trips to Antigua to view the yacht back in March. He hired people, including a captain of his old yacht and the purser of the old yacht, to get the yacht ready for sailing. And plus, he hired lawyers in Antigua and in the US. And he also claims that he missed out on chartering the yacht for a 6-week period at a cost of $800,000 per week. He also filed an injunction in the courts to prevent the sale of the yacht to Mr. Schmidt, as he failed to complete in the 7-day period, and he's asking for $5,683,000 US for breach of contract and money being owed by the defendants to the claimant in the acquisition of motor vessel Alfa Nero. Okay, so we asked Mr. Telemac, who is the Port Authority manager, for a statement on the matter, as we always do whenever we talk about Alfa Nero, and his reply was no comment. We also asked Andrei Guryev's daughter's lawyer for a statement and answers to our questions, which we put to him previously, but after an initial contact from him saying that he would get back to us the following week, we've had radio silence from him. That was weeks ago that he said that. So we've had nothing from him either Now, meanwhile, the government of Antigua is still paying over 110,000 US dollars a week for the upkeep of this vessel, and all they're paying for is crew salaries, probably back pay, and some other incidentals, probably provisions and stuff like that. Now, one of the things I would say about that lawsuit is, whilst all of the other claims appear to be legitimate, you know, he made flights down there, he hired people to help him buy that yacht, and then in turn was told, you can't buy it, that's, you know, one thing. But the idea that he was going to charter that yacht immediately, I think that's, you know, somebody said to me that it's a kitchen sink lawsuit. That vessel has been neglected in Antigua for over a year. It's had an ever decreasing number of crew on board, now down to approximately 5 crew, which means very little will have been done in the way of upkeep of that yacht. And, you know, even with a full crew on board, there are things that they need. They've not been able to get parts for the vessel. They weren't even able to pay for their fuel. So there's no way that that boat would have been ready to go immediately and start chartering. The only place that vessel would have been ready to go to would have been a shipyard somewhere. So I think the idea that he's going to get 800,000 for lost chartering revenue, I think that's very unlikely. Now, what is interesting, though, is that this lawsuit is apparently going to continue regardless of whether he does eventually buy the yacht. So he's going to be looking at getting $5 million back in damages from what has happened. Now, obviously, we will keep you up to date on this story as we have done so far since the beginning. So please be sure to stay tuned to the channel for further updates.
All right, so that would have been a video. You know, there's this yacht site that tracks stories in relation to these seizing of ships, etc., etc. That's the latest update on that, as you would have heard. So I guess that once we would have gotten the other side to the suit, God spare life, I will come here and put that forward as to what the other side is saying, and then apparently going to be going to court on this matter, and the court will make a decision. So that is the latest situation with the Alfa Nero. If it is true that the man Smith have pulled out, I guess it comes down to if the second person, Hall, if it will be sold to him, then what will become of the matter that he has put in for his damages, or will everything be dealt with in one negotiation? It is yet to see. We're yet to see what exactly happens there. But as the gentleman said, they'll keep us updated. We'll know, and as we get information, I'm sure that we here at ZDK will keep you informed also. Let me just take a quick break, get something. Before I go to that, take this call and then take a quick break, get something to drink, and then come right now. Hey, good night.
Go on.
Wait, cool. Just before you go, Bubbler. Rasa, you can call me back when Bubbler finish if your question wasn't answered. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, something just reached me that I have a touch back with you.
Go ahead, man. Look, everything good.
Yeah. Just would love for this highlight to you and show you what what I say tonight is so much truthful, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Is watch this. You know, for our biggest problem, yeah, I would like to tear down each other. I would like to get pleasure in doing that. You want me to tell you why I say that?
Go ahead, tell me.
I think from I know myself, I never know that I have nobody who have reached judge, magistrate or whatever. So far, so good. Differently than maybe a couple different people. I know have Claire Henry. I know have Miss Joan Walsh, you know. You know she?
Yes. Well, you know? I don't know her. I know of her.
You know of her?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Me no really know she for say no she. But there were things that I know about she that I know that I'll never highlight about that lady, yeah? And it is bad. Why? Because there's a lot of us and a lot of our young men in this country, yeah? Could have gone to prison. You hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
A lot of our young men could have gone to prison. But because of the goodness of that lady, many of them haven't seen prison. And you want me to tell you why?
Why?
And the goodness? Watch this. As one magistrate, yeah? You go before she, you're a young man, and you go before she. And you know that lady looks so deep into our interest, right? That she even try, not she try. She gets so many jobs, gets so many young men in this country. I'm never hear nobody call in and commend that young lady. You hear what I say?
Yep.
And them, they all them things, they problem for we dread. We have to recognize before we brutalize. You check what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When it just maybe hear something happen to one person and start to hammer and slander people like that. Because me don't know of much of us, but me think that we can always find more good in many of us than more bad. And if I really want to lift up ourselves and lift up our country, we have to stop looking at the bad things of life and, you know, yes, them will happen, them will come. You can't, life not go without them now. A positive and negative, a good and bad, a evil and good, you know what I mean? And all them walk, you have to sit together. And we have to separate them. So I'm just saying is that these are the way that we gone. That bad we have gone. That we cannot see the good things that we have done as Antiguan. And when next thing to, you see the political business? Hey, look. If I continue going on the road there with this country, right? We head for some dangerous problem with God, no, not with man, no. Come on, God saying Allah will destroy this place, you know. And He make them, and He create everyone how we. He say He will destroy them. I will come back for them. So, look, man, I allow look on the brighter side of life, no. Allow look out for each other. Just think about each other. If it's all right for you, it's all right for me. And if it's wrong for you, you have to wrong for me. Because more if you know this too now. There is a lot of people out there who we look up to, who we place in high places that involve in some serious wrongdoings and need to pull in and to deal with, just like how we deal with any one of us, you know. Because none of us is above the line, you know. And until when then something start to happen, we're not going to ever see them better of our country. Because all of us must be held or must be held accountable for the wrong things that we have done. Anyone around this country, if I want to see the betterment of this country, you can't want to think that you're above nothing. Nobody. A wrong for everybody. A right for everybody. Have a good night, my brother.
All right, man. Thanks much. I hear you, Babla. What can I say? What can I say? I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I keep saying to people, up to today, I said it to somebody. The greatest thing I believe that my parents have done for me was to make sure that I got reasonably schooled in the Word of God. And once you would know that, you would understand where we live. You would understand who rules where we live, and I'm talking about the world, and what that being is about. And even when the people are given a choice between the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ, and a thief, who they took? You know? I have reasoned to myself many a times about what you're talking about, the bubbler. And again, to go back to my spiritual foundation, you understand that you're not going to please everybody. You understand that? You're not going to please everybody. If you try your best to please God, the rest will fall into place after that. People are going to see the devil and his imps at work when they come against you, because God is going to reveal those things. And I'm speaking from what I know. I'm speaking from what I would have gone through. I'm speaking from what I would have heard from people I once called friends. You know what I mean? But I don't worry about it, and I don't take it as tearing down and them kind of stuff, the bubbler. I just look at it as good against evil, God against the devil. Right? Because that's how it is. That's just how it is. We have me a pawn sometime on the board. Job would have taught us that. When Job friends and them were saying to him, you have to do something. Job said, well, look, if me do something, I know you know. And it was only until the Almighty removed the scale from his friend's eyes that I understand he had nothing to do with Job. You know? So with that in mind, King, if you do 1,000,000 good and 1 bad, some people could just remember. Some people not remember the 1,000,000 good, they remember the 1 bad. But I don't lose sleep over those kind of things. I have resigned, and I think that it would do us individually and then collectively the best to say, look, you know what? Me can live right by God. Afterwards, that will work out itself. And if the majority of us do that, it will run good. That's just my belief on that. As I said, I don't know Magistrate Walsh. I know of her. I've heard the name. I've read stories with her. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to look at something with her a little later, and I think I'll just wait until when I get to that to speak to that. In relation to Bobla, what you said in relation to we might run into politics, we might run into problems with God based on where we're going politically. I agree with you. Because again, it comes down to good versus evil, and I already think to myself that we're at a crossroads now in the history of Antigua and Barbuda. I really think so. I really think so. I don't believe that the average person on the street have a clue of what's going on in this country. I don't really think so. And that's no disrespect. Persons might be so busy trying to survive that they don't have the time to look into certain things. We have heard discussions, and that's why I've come and I play these clips at times, you know, where there's discussion that taxes gonna rise. As a matter of fact, as I say that, I was talking to a friend this morning, and I was saying to the friend, anybody who say that things like the sale of or the buying of Scotiabank, the University Center, it was three things I spoke to him. The buying of the Scotiabank, the University Center, and what was the third? Liat. In my opinion, if anybody say that these things were not good things, I don't think they're ready yet. We think they're being dishonest with themselves, personally. Before the sale of the buying of Scotiabank, the law was that if I'm selling my business to you, Bubbler, so long as you decide that you're going to give employment to the persons who I have with me, they have no choice. They have to work with you. Even though they might say to themselves, me don't really like Bubbler, no, me don't want to work for Bubbler, no. If then decide that then I'll go work, then go lose their years. And that was corrected as far as I saw in relation to when the Scotiabank, the amendment that was made to the code. Liat, the importance of Liat to the Caribbean regional travel and what it is to Antigua, that goes beyond saying. Before, and the importance of the University Center 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, the benefits that we'll reap from that too, is without controversy in my mind. But at the same time, you can't tell me that after 8 years, you have the minimum wage at $9. That the benefit poor people.
Hello?
And, hold a second here, sir. Antiguans in their own country will not work for $9. So these are the kind of things. The protection of persons severance.
Good night, babe.
I'm coming to you, dear caller.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I'm coming to you. Hold the line.
Tell me your forward.
Hold the line.
I heard.
All right. Don't tell me that the protection of persons, severance, and that kind of stuff are not priority issues. So this is how the discussion goes, Good night, caller. Hello. Okay, probably he ran out of money. Sorry about that. You could call me back, caller, if you have the credit. So, I don't worry about what people think and them kind of stuff. And many of us need to take that attitude. Yeah, people are going to say what they're going to say. Because 99% of the time, when you do what they want you to do, you're the best person. But the minute you start to say, wait, hold on there, man. Hold on there. What you say ain't really make too much sense. And come and have a discussion about that. Once you start to say that, you're the worst person. Me may be the best person to some people a few months ago, no be the worst. But me understand how the some go. Me understand that then just limited in their mental capacity. So me no worry over that. The important thing to me is that when me close my eyes to sleep and wait for the Almighty, that I'm good with the Almighty. Me no worry about man. Man being humankind. Alright, let me take a quick break and come back. And when I come back, I'll touch the situation with Chief Magistrate Joan Walsh. Stay tuned, I'm gonna be right back.
We once had a dream of being supreme, of being the pearl, the gem of the Caribbean, honest and sincere in our public affair, with no appetite for the gross and obscene. But then by and by, vultures on the slide dip their greasy fingers deep in the treasury. Hands became so vulgar, shift guns against Mandela. From Sister Antigua, behold your legacy. We used to have sugar. Look where we come to. Like the land of bitter. Look where we come to. And where we had an economy is no more like economy. We gave the country to stand for it. All of we get burned, all them big investors.
Look what we come to.
Turn out to be jesters.
Look what we come to.
And all the little dollars we save, they get rich quick where we crave. Have we in a Texas grave, but will we ever learn? Look what we come to. I remember a time long before the crime, my country produced for half of the Caribbean. The island cotton was class, with quality unsurpassed. Eagle Garment Factory made shirt jacks like you've never seen. But those days are gone, as Father Time moves on. And how we excelled is a distant memory. For now that our name stands for scandal and shame, please tell me, Antigua, what is your history? We were once so famous.
Look what we come to.
Now CNN say notorious.
Look what we come to.
All over the world, you mention fruit. Antigua Black was the golden loot, and foreigners wanted a taste of Susie's pepper sauce. Now our reputation,
look what we come to,
is for spicy corruption.
Look what we come to.
From Safati, Detot and Stanford, we hold the world record. Yes, when it comes to fraud, Antigua is boss. Look what we come to.
People suffering. How could I be doing well? Everywhere I pass, people stop me to ask how your country running. Are you doing well? Look, my response honest to this question. With this recession going and people catching hell, how could I ever be doing fine with so many issues on my mind? And the way I see my country turn, for better there's no people here. It gives me cause to be concerned. Good life and nice living, a thing of the past. For people now catching their cost of living, strangling the poor while daily food prices soar. All is not well. It's hard to survive these days on starvation, salaries and slave wage. All is not well. Some living from hand to mouth, while some depend solely on handout. All is not well. So many bills to pay, the poor can never see his way. All is not well. Seems like things getting more bad. To go shopping these days is hard. For a payday, the poor must wait, while politicians' salaries does never late. Them crooks and bandits doing well, civil society catching hell. All is not well with the country. La, 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 la. How could I be doing so many ills I see in my society? Ignorance is a habit while the laws deteriorate. Violence and crime taking over full time. Between lawmakers and bandits you can't differentiate. The nation is in such a sad, sad state, fueled by political hate. And even crime is so politicized. Because of numerous rape cornered by police yet still escape. All is not well. Though we hired Canadian Mounties and paid them some huge bounties, till we can get the drop on crime. Like they're wasting taxpayers' money and time. Some police refuse to function under the present administration. All is not well with the country. La, 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 la. How could I be doing well when poor people catching hell? Some crooks and vagabonds fighting for position, spreading pure lies and deceit just to get ahead. Some with the disrespect of a certified lunatic. In arrogance and conceit, their deception they spread, and seeming to live above the laws. For them, justice is placed on pause, and them chief instigators of crime still run the streets of spray and lime, white smoke players doing jail time. When our call for justice on deaf ears fall, then all can never be well at all. When all them political scams still walking free after this scam, all is not well. Small crooks in 1735 while murderers in station living life. All is not well. Public figures sign for certified traffic document. All is not well. And to arrest guilty justice fair while pulling the brand end up in jail. All is not well. Like justice have to level, only to govern poor people, while the high and the mighty still parading free around this country. Them crooks and scams are doing well, while the populace catching hell. All is not well with the country. Lie, 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 lie. How could I be doing well when poor people catching hell?
Yeah, the sounds of the man Zakari. All is not well. That's one of my favorites from many, many, many years ago. What was that voice? One of my favorites. All is not well. As I'm listening to some of them say, next song came to my mind. I might go to that. Another Scorpion. Look what we come to. Oh Lord, what was the name again? Oh, the more things change. The more things change, the more they remain the same. I think I'll look for that one and go with that one. Now continuing with the boogie, as they would say. The chief magistrate situation. As you would know, if you have been following the news, the chief magistrate was suspended. I don't remember exactly when. Based on, I don't know if it was certain allegations or an investigation they were doing or whatever the case is, but there was some level of suspension, and they were supposed to have some sort of a tribunal or something. But before the tribunal, the legal team for the chief magistrate had made an application. I believe it might have been last week. If I'm not, well, no, today's Saturday. So, sorry, this week, maybe, I think the judge, or who heard the matter, made a ruling on Monday of this week. There's a story on the Antigua newsroom. Yes, boy, I get that mix about newsroom, news pages. On the 4th of September, that reads Chief Magistrate Joan Walsh injunction bid, or she was seeking an injunction, denied. And this, as I said, the story is dated September the 4th, 2023. And it reads, the High Court has rejected Chief Magistrate Joan Wall's injunction request against the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. This decision clears the path for her disciplinary case, which began with her suspension on July 20th amid allegations that remain undisclosed. Walsh contends that her constitutional rights were violated during the process, a claim her legal team vigorously pursued. With the injunction dismissed, the spotlight now shifts to the unfolding disciplinary hearing as the legal community and the public watch closely. And that was a story, as I said, on the 4th of September. The 4th of September was what day? Oh, Monday. And my understanding is that the disciplinary hearing or tribunal, whatever you want to call it, it started on Monday and it ended yesterday. That's the information that is that has come to me, that I've gleaned, and I believe they said within, well, the person who told me that within short order, maybe by next week, we will be hearing something in relation to what is the decision coming out of that process. We don't know, so we can't preempt it. Once we get to that bridge next week, if it's next week, then we will know what happens going forward from there, from either party side. So that's the latest on that. As I said, I don't know the chief magistrate. I know of her. I've read different stories with her in the court and that kind of stuff. I have no reason to doubt what Bubble said in terms of what goodness she might have done and continues to do. I have no reason to doubt him. There's good in all of us. There's good in all of us. For some reason, being human, we seem to always gravitate mostly to the negative, my friend. But we have to train ourselves, I believe, to be aware of the positive, be aware of the negative, but accentuate the positive. That's the most I can say. And it's an individual decision, in my opinion, Bubla. Each individual have got to decide how we're going to approach life. If we're bad-minded, then we know what it's going to be. If we're going to try to live good, try to help our brothers and sisters as we go along the way, we know how that is going to go. Also, so maybe by next week, God spare life. When I come here, I'll be in a better position to know exactly what is the latest on that matter, and if there's any other latest to come from that matter, depending on what comes out of the disciplinary hearing, disciplinary chamber. My understanding was that everything came from St. Lucia. When I say everything, stenographers, everybody came. They didn't want to impress on nobody here. So that's what I heard. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard it was held up at the hotel there on top of the hill there by Halcyon. What name again? I don't remember the name of the hotel. But it was up on the hill there, over by Halcyon. My understanding was that is where the thing took place. One more thing that I just want to touch before we finish here tonight. I passed by Larry gas station tonight on my way here to buy some gas, and I see the situation remains, well, at least from looking at it, seems to be the same. I don't know what's happening behind the scene. I would have heard a statement put out by Western Israel maybe in the week. So we as the public, we watch on and see what exactly is happening there. But when I passed there tonight, coming down the road, I saw that things still seem to be as it might have been, as it was. You know, I didn't see nothing new. I didn't see nobody new. So I'm just saying, such is the case out there at Friesel gas station. Well, I call it Larry gas station. So I don't know what's the correct name. What's the correct name for it? But that is the situation there. All right. Well, I see that I see that Sean has well, I'm not gonna say Sean coming. You know who will be at work behind the food there. But I see it looks as if something is happening behind there. Something has been folders have been left open. I don't know. Once the folder left open, we will go in there and see exactly what they have, because I guess they'll leave it open so that we can look in there. So I think I'll have a look. At that. Which one now? Let me see what this one is. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, let me see what this one is. 10:35.
It takes a long time to, build roads. You have to do planning and all of that, Les Scott. It takes time. So the things that people are seeing now happening in St. Mary's South would have likely come after years and months of planning and work, culminating in St. Mary's South looking the way that it does. I mean.
How would I go? Hold on there. Let me go up to that.
It takes a long time to, build roads. You have to do planning and all of that, Les Scott. It takes time. So the things that people are seeing now happening in St. Mary's South would have likely come after years and months of planning and work, culminating in St. Mary's South looking the way that it does. I mean.
Hey, look. The Lord knows. The Lord knows. So what we see happening in St. Mary's South now, as it pertains to the infrastructure work, etc., is years of planning. Boy, the guy is such an idiot.
Good night, Biff.
Hey, good night. Hey, how you doing, King?
Well, King.
Hey, we just see the man left for somewhere.
You can hear me?
Yeah. We see the man left for somewhere. Best me know him play that.
Okay then. We hear you tell my card back in when Bubble we on the phone. But at the time, me go get something to eat. So I'm going to get for hear the clip, brother. Yeah, my headphone in my ear, but on TV on so hard, so I couldn't even get to hear the whole situation about where I talk about. But I have to talk about that another time, King. So probably next week or so, I have to talk about that, the King. But with the clip that you played just a while with Al, I talk about what's going on in St. Mary's South. Things were done in the pipeline that happened long time ago. Beef, that's a pure lie. Pure lie, beef. You hear me, my brother?
Yeah, me listen.
Yeah, because remember the representative day for 9 years, you can see. She did for 9 years. So how come them something on me start out all the time? You remember when November they get a storm that wash out 2 old house out, one day crab and another one day kids, babe?
Yeah.
Beef?
Yes.
And you know how long then they take to say them get fixed?
Well,
over 4, you can say 3.5 years, beef. Because remember the one that they crab hill now around the corner when we had a stoplight. Remember that bill coming up in January when they're coming up the election? They try hurry down that for the election, beef. You know, if you're around it, you remember that you go on south. And then now the one that they,
No, me listen to you.
Yeah. Because that's up how much years that then coming up the election in January, that's the one they fix the one they crab hill. But try to catch people. Or people are way about walk carry on. Now the one they kids be now. That they now be that is like the one they fought was. So the one they fought how they set them up and it got so long and they just have them there and not do nothing. That's a walk carry on now on kids the beef. They put in like record like a round cast circling.
Yeah.
Why me even know to call them beef. But you know when the water
jazz.
Some cement, some they put in for the water go
Yes,
through.
jazz, yeah.
That's all must they have down in the hole. And then they start, well, they put some like a stone and they start to run yet. You see, and not even that beef. You remember, a month or 2 months ago, somebody following in there.
Somebody was going to the Pyongo Fest or something like that. Somebody from All Saints or something like that. Coming from. But didn't the tourists...
Coming when we are stand corrected, whichever.
Didn't the tourists drop in there sometime recently?
Hey?
A tourist not dropping there sometime recently?
No, I don't talk about the people and that's Winnie Key.
No, a tourist
The
drop.
first
What
lady
tourist?
from Winnie Key.
What tourist dropped in there a couple of days ago, man?
Oh, that's it for this big.
No, for real. Well, yeah, I think so.
It's but so big, but what is it? That is supposed to ban arm. That is supposed to barricade so nobody can. And you don't want us to beef with them areas then. And here, you see night time like a no beef, them supposed to have light round them, because round the dark like a hell no. When they don't know, round the dark like a hell I know.
Even that light,
Means
they
to
need
put
for
lights
reflectors
round
and
it,
that kind of
so
stuff.
when people that have custom to England and know what carry on, would have realized, boy, and this is what happened. You hear me out, King?
Well, the man said that a year's of planning for years, you know.
What years of planning be? If I just start me realize in a tough part that is something never go there. Let me not let from like that beef, but no years of planning to all of this because she get 9 years to do something and it's not. Remember, the 2 clinics locked down, well, 1 clinic locked down and push you in. The other one, she start them, fix them up, and 1 big grand opening and nothing to happen after that beef.
But think
in
me
the
here.
building and that's what shell.
But they may hear something that they what they put in equipment now or something like that.
When they go put in the equipment?
But think they start.
You remember the minister say, a week after, 2 weeks after they go put in equipment, beef? Me what if you remember that?
But think they start.
Hey?
But think they start.
You missed that?
They start. I think they start to put in equipment.
Oh, they start now?
But think so.
Oh, beef. This summer, look, and that's what me realize now, the government that in power at the time, the Prime Minister, then I hand a hope for Samantha. Because look, she been there for all the years, then they put in nothing, then they do nothing. How come now everything will fix up? How come now roads are built for going West Palm Beach?
You don't know why? I had to ask the
Well,
question.
me want to believe why, but beef, you see, time enough beef in Antigua for people to start realize. Politicians are wait for when it comes to election time for start to fix some beef, them someday wrong. And this is time now for us start to turn our back on them kind of people, the beef, because, you know, right, you have all the time for fix up this and fix that. Right now, when election come now, you try to do something beef. What kind of impression now that you give me, for me to come now and say, boy, I'm going to give me empty?
So you believe the Antiguans don't realize that?
Well, I believe so, beef. Because if they don't realize that beef, then when they make a change January 18 Gandhi. But they wonder now if St. Mary's South people realize that now for when the by-election time for do what they have to do.
Well,
so at them, they not no need for open their eye.
I'll find out now because the by-election will have a call and then the people and them will go and exercise their franchise. How they want to exercise their franchise.
Call yet?
No, I don't think so. But I think I heard that the Labour Party is having a launching of their candidate, Thursday or Sunday? Either Thursday or Sunday.
And beef, this is the thing again now that with Labour Party, beef. Why they have to always have one kind of a concert for try to catch people, beef?
You can ask me that now. You can ask me that. You have to ask somebody in the Labour Party.
Well, me going by a partner, yeah? Your co-partner before from real talk and see what he say. I'm talk to you, see what he say about talk. Beef, time enough for that chat tap full with concert and make our believe this and make our believe that beef and let's come out straight beef. Cause them something right now not supposed to catch no sensible people beef. You hear me? And if that's what you can do, Sal, I will waste time in this place, my brother.
Good night.
You see? Anyway, my brother, I'm not hold the line too long, you don't know we go, but beef. I don't know if you can send the other part, the second part of them, me get when you read them. I'm going to tell them I go in the shop. I never can send them, give me some, I can look for them for myself.
You have to tell me.
Make my own agreement about them.
Give me a call tomorrow and tell
me. You how we go.
Give me a call tomorrow and tell me to remind me. Let me see exactly.
All right, my brother. Let's send on my blood.
All right, take care.
Yeah, man.
Bless. I was looking to see if I saw the article with Because I could have swore I read something the other day that a tourist dropped down in the same hole. I'm trying to go through the newspapers and them to see, but me didn't see nothing. Me didn't see nothing here, but I thought I read something like that a few days ago. Some tourist, I think it was a tourist. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for that. I'm gonna have to look for that. Have a look at that tomorrow. So, okay. So that was Sean and then. Boy, Sean, even me know about the one day. I'm not go play the one day. Trust you, me. Because me never hear. Friday afternoon, okay, somebody just said on the WhatsApp, from the seafood fell, okay, that must have been the first one. Friday afternoon, a tourist fell in the ditch. Yeah, man, because I know I read something about Friday could be the date. So today Saturday, that could be the 8th. So that should have been in some one of the newspapers for that should have been in some one of the newspapers for yesterday. I don't understand how many see it. On Antigua newsroom or what, but I may move to so fast most can't see. And they from the night. Oh yeah, look at some right there in front of me now. Why Dave, you must have got blind. Former MP Kelvin Shuggy Simon, he releases a press statement following case. You see the car here, R2012, that's the number for the vehicle. At least that's the number they have there on the, yeah, look like it, that's it, R2012. A group of tourists traveling through the area are the latest victims of the ABLP gross negligence at this construction site. Following a similar accident on August 13, 2023, the Minister of Work released a statement indicating that the bridge would be completed in 9 weeks. 9 weeks. Alright. Since some 4 weeks later, very little has been done and the hazards that were identified have not been addressed. Also, it's Friday. It's Friday it happened. Well, I hope that whatever needs to be done to bring attention to the motorists in that area of the danger, that it be done, because we don't really want nobody to die. You know what I mean? That's just ignorance there. All right, time 10:47. Let me just one more thing we can play here and then we gone.
Let me ask you something. Man, on say you done work at 2 o'clock today, right?
Yeah. So you say?
Yeah. So what happened to the man that's supposed to work in this flat? What make you have a work every time? Every time man on the make when change the call man on and tell he can work me. And when he's supposed to work?
Anyway, listen to me.
No.
We knew. Yes, but listen, comrade.
About APUA.
Yes.
And free be the bond now.
Appreciate that, but we knew this.
The man must come on the government, go do Pint FM work.
We know that, but listen to me. I knew long before today that he had to do it. So don't, I'll not bunk on that. Today, tell. You understand?
Let me tell you this from now on. You know me come from, you know, come and say, make a check every day supposed to work.
Okay.
And I have a diarrhea, I'm going to put him in there every day absent.
Well, I'm going to make sure I send you the notice when he send them.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure, look, the man on work for himself. Make sure you get one hit never a pint, and he love what you do.
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
He make sure he can go work.
Yes.
Right? And the LFA. The man that is in charge. Yeah, we hear him miss one time when the Prime Minister from Brown and Brown. That is the only show he want to do.
Anyway, listen, we will continue that. No.
Caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Kingdom.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Senator.
Huh?
I'm using my handle. Senator.
Hi, Senator calling the bro.
How are you?
Start that way, because it seems as if this senatorial position I hot of plenty people. I was driving when somebody called me, and about 15 people messaged me trying to find out what's going on.
They're just concerned.
Hold on, let me talk, man.
Yeah, Senator, let me tell you this now. There is no need.
Let me say what I have to say.
Okay, Senator, just take a breath. I understand that.
I was driving, and a number of people called me and messaged me. I'm returning home with my wife, who is sun sensitive. She can't go out in the sun because of a medical condition.
Mm-hmm.
We had hell at home last night for the pain that my wife has gone through because she has a condition where she becomes sun sensitive. And let me tell you why she has the flare up. The air conditioning unit in my car not working.
Mm-hmm.
The evaporator, I think I told Manhunt this the other day when we met at the supermarket. You know.
Yes, you told me that.
The evaporator, you can call Hadid Motors. It cost me $3,500 and I can't get it here in Antigua. I can't get it in Antigua.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying as much as possible to compose myself because he's enough, King Man.
Please do. And I'm not at all waving you off, but you know.
I have been asked many times by senior members of the party not to respond, but I have to respond. $3,500. I have to find that, irrespective of the fact that they say I've been making thousands of dollars every month. And Winston and Manhunt, I don't have to state how much I take from Pantefen every month.
I don't think that's necessary.
Because it is way below par pertaining to the work I'm doing. And I was lucky enough to hear one guy calling in, and I went back on the chat. And I want to know why is it that even when I'm in the solitude of my place, my home, my car, my space, my name is being banged, being beaten on air for no reason. It has to be something. Me must be really good. But the people like Jesus Christ get them kind of attention there.
And you're good at what you do, you know. So I'm not.
Big man,
I don't know that anybody is going to
hear me at the station.
Yeah.
Right.
Many hours. But again, I live with my wife and my son. And irrespective of what they have to say about me and my family, we have a good life, thanks to God. And that life was good, even before coming to Labour Party. I want you to do something because I noticed that somebody alluded to it, and it's a very good point in the chat. I want you to do something for me now. Apart from Sunday and Monday, I take Mondays off simply because I have to do my business. Yesterday, Kimber can tell you, I was up and down running. He saw when I was going to state insurance, call Mary Claire's sister, Denise Hurst, and asked if I didn't come there. Call Miss Frederick and asked if I didn't come there yesterday. And the only reason why I'm doing this is to clarify so people understand. I have to license my car as well. My wife is sun sensitive. She has a medical condition. I am human.
Yeah.
I can't be in a radio station. And whereas they will think, and Winston, I'm sure that you are picking up on this as well, a lot of people think it's the old antiquated way that radio is being run, that you must sit down there. You must
Yes,
sit
I
down
think so.
every day.
Yes.
Jupiter can stay on Mars or Jupiter itself and do what he's doing. Anybody can work from home and manage the system down there, but some people won't know that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be sitting there.
No.
And I just want to say to the people who have given me the support,
Yeah.
I heard my Rastafarian brother, Jahu, mentioning that I'm human. You have to tell people me I'm human, big man. I understand and I respect that, but people should know better. I want you, Winston. And Winston, I'm surprised that you didn't tell them that this man has sent your message and told me that
Colin,
there's an urgent matter that I have to deal with. I'm sure that you didn't respond.
No,
don't go there.
He said that, Colin. He
Don't
did
go
say-
there, because if
he
you
did
go there,
say-
we're going to end the conversation.
Yeah.
Colin, come on now.
Yeah.
Let me continue quickly.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's don't fall into listen, Colin. Do not fall into the trap.
I should have asked Jupiter to give me a Zoom link to show you how I'm washed down in a sweat, King Man.
Don't knock up yourself with that. Senator O'Neill, all I'm saying to you is listen now. Senator O'Neill. Senator O'Neill. Senator O'Neill. Senator O'Neill.
I'm coming off the line, big man. But he's not easy enough.
I appreciate that. And thank you for your patience.
And let me say this, no matter what they're trying to do to get me out of Labour, it's not going to happen, King.
Stay strong.
Labour, I might come in here 7 years ago, but trust me, 6 years ago, whatever years, but trust me, this is where my heart lies. And if you hear me become a member anything, it must mean something significant. And that's
Great. And your contribution is a valuable one.
I do not go around supporting anything that I know I'm not going to be loyal to. Not me.
Very well, Senator. Please continue taking care of your wife. I think we all appreciate that. And
since I saw a reason not to support Blue PP, and Gaston Brown has given me the invitation to become a member, to join the Labour Party, and I did so. And whatever came after that is some Gaston decision. And Gaston, they want to come after now. And I can keep my diary because every day I keep I updated.
Very well.
Understand?
Okay, man.
Cheers.
All right,
take
comrade.
Boy, but listen, we all have.
Okay, all right. Also, that will make okay. Now I understand some things that I was being told. Okay. Well, I definitely the comments. No, get involved in that. I definitely the comments, but I mean, anyway, Dave, you keep out for now, Dave. Nobody trouble you, so you wanna get involved. You wanna get involved? Let me go down the road here. No. What a thing!
Oh, bandoi, oh, bandoi, oh, escape by the skin of your teeth. In 5 years you lose 3 seats. The voter verdict now official was too much business as usual. Many claim they don't see difference. The two parties is the same. They now have evidence. It's only change of color and name. And they want to run, but they have to.
Hey!
Back to bird.
Oi!
Is no kind of plan. So they glad, real glad.
Oh boy. Dave, hush him out, Dave, hush him out.
As usual, is not an option. Stop the business as usual. Thief into clear.
Oi!
Business as usual. Party no full of millionaire. Some is full-time and barren. 5 years ago didn't have a cent. So they drive in the biggest Nissan and have an apartment on rent. But I know they hear what the voters say. Cause Baldwin repeated the other day. And I know repeating it in song. Business as usual is not an option.
Alright, let me just look at the WhatsApp board here.
Business as
where's it? Talk, Dave, talk. Not me.
Number Jackie will.
We do everything in timing.
Business as usual.
Not everything, most things. Everybody. Bambadi. And if an electronic diary, Tanya. I'll turn it till I write in a book. What a thing. Bam, bam, bam.
All you check what.
Hey, let's say thank you to those persons who would have called. Those who would have WhatsApp.
Some of you still.
Hey, thank you for staying the course with me tonight.
Business as usual.
Hey, to the silent majority.
Work left halfway.
Hey, those people who are just going to be there listening.
If you criticize.
Then I'm going to say nothing. Like a Kebox on news.
Wish too much will dress up in sheep.
Hey, thanks for staying the course with me tonight.
The people, message loud and clear.
If it's God's will, I should be back here next week, Saturday, 8 p.m. Until then.
And when I man shout and swear.
Hey, remember.
Business
hey, to keep us safe as possible.
Is cause
for the ladies who reside alone. Hey, please burn the little extra electricity. Your security is priority number 1.
Too much business as usual.
And remember,
the arrogance to dry up.
Hey, keep the Almighty God as your guide.
A secret
because hey, once God is in your boat, you will be able to smile at the storm.
Money now is no problem.
And never ever forget.
No, they hear what the voters say.
Hey, once the Almighty brings you to it,
does Baldwin repeat it?
Hey, He will bring you through it. And I'll just add,
I know repeating it in song.
Hey, if the temperature high tomorrow,
business as usual,
and your driver won't turn on your aircon,
changes must be substantial.
Turn them up high. Keep yourself cool inside.
Is not optional.
What the world at all.
Errol and John.
Until we come together again. Hey, much love.
No, option.
Biddy bidam badam badam bay. Hey, talk to me, Eddie Mello. Hey, bless up yourself, Annette. Hey, much love.
about progress, about so much success, evolution doing well, but human actions, they fit a pattern, we predictable like hell. With all that change, mankind feels strong, we have new inventions galore, but like a dog that chase his tail around, we must have not done before. Just how planet systems have their boundaries in orbit, so Homo sapien just revolve in a circuit, with few surprises, but with routines aplenty, just advertising our commonalities. They baby still saying that before my that starts before the cavemen came. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Only the weapons humans still fighting war, more turfs they want to claim. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Bam, bam, where's your mama? Man still at variance with science, atheism versus God, fanatism, age-old schism, paint the planet in its blood, and race still rules paradise lost, from Hitler to the Ku Klux Klan, while culture still dividing us from Argentina to Greenland. Up in the West Bank, while one peace treaty signing, they lost a question, radicals don't start coming. And right up we're Saul, and David in caves for nothing. George Bush getting mauled, going after Bin Laden. And all the tidal wave, earthquake and disease, Africa, Indochina, they made. The more things change, the more they remain the same. And when the IMF lend the third world money, conditions make your country lame. The more things change, the more they remain the same.
They say Pierre Bird ruled for 25 years, and he have 1 ton of house and land. They tell me again that some of them come just 4 years, now they own nearly the whole of St. John. Who have bulldozer, they sure to have truck and bus. Me without a dollar can't make no fuss. It's enough for me to cry. They're bleeding the country, try take it easy. I gonna tell you the reason why. All of them is money glutton, no exception, money glutton. They only making sure that their pocket full. Money glutton, all politicians, money glutton. But before long I know I gonna use me full. I have one intention when I check them record, and I find any one of them dodging figures. Don't doubt me, this is a fact. The first one I meet is here. Attack without mercy. It's the bull born across the back. A certain man find he wants some dollars too, so he organize a union and call it new. When he find the people and them get to love his leadership, he go quit the union and play politics. Some of them who say that they preach politics is not because they have the country at heart. They jump on stage with 1 ton of chat, they can't fool me, I'm too smart for that all the time. I know it's the money they're getting up. All of them is money glutton, all politicians, money glutton. They only making sure that their pocket full.
Money glut,
I have no exception.
Money glut,
but before long I know I'm gonna use me bull. I have one intention when I check them records, and I find any one of them that drink figures. Don't doubt me, this is a fact. The first one I meet is here, attack without mercy.
It's the bull ball across the back.
First start this thing as a trade unionist before he become chief minister. And when he has premier find it still exists, he gets vexed and fire George Walter. But George come back and repent later on, organize a powerful trade union. When he come the next premier, he make himself finance minister. Believe me, not one of them is better. All of them is
money glut.
All politicians
money glut.
They only making sure that their pocket full.
Money glut.
No exception.
Money glut.
But before long, I know I'm gonna use me phone. I have one intention when I check them records, and I find any one of them dodging figures. Don't doubt me, this is a fact. The first one I meet is the air attack without mercy.
It's the bull one across the back.
That's right.
Studios located in the capital city of St. John's, Antigua in the Caribbean Sea.
Okay, stop there.
And our transmitter located at the highest point, Body Peak in the parish of St. Mary. This is ZDK Liberty Radio International 97.1 FM, the People's Radio Station.